get you, Doctor. So anyway, but yeah, that's keeping up with the Bidens, y'all, and we'll see how this. I know this year ain't gonna end right, but
garbage and sanitation worker. No, they want to live in big houses that they see on videos.
You know, my thing is, I thought it was funny because it was the caller that did it, but at the end of the day, it's, hey, when you're a public figure.
That the whole thing makes me sick to my stomach.
You know what I'm saying? 99.9% of the time, I love living in this, country that we're free and we have this freedom of speech. But every now and then,
yeah.
When she
man,
did
listen.
The Trump,
brother, if she could turn back the hands of time, Doc, ain't no Dave Chappelle, I'll tell you that.
And so you need to be put out and put on notice. The hell no.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, y'all. Happy Monday.
Thank you so much, Ginger. So sweet of you to always be so kind to introduce our show every Monday morning. Good morning, somebody. It's been 7 days since we've seen y'all, and I'm excited to have a conversation with y'all. Are y'all excited to see us? I sure hope so. Listen, when y'all come in, say what's up, because we just like to hear from you guys. Is that all right? So I'm excited because the family is here, minus one, but that's okay because all of us together makes an amazing team. So just minus one just means you just get a little bit less of the greatness that we have within us. All right, man, bring the family on so that we can have a conversation. Madam, she's in the man cave, and sir, back from vacation. Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
We get one and we lose another, but it's all right.
You seem very refreshed. I can tell.
I needed it.
Yeah. So y'all, Kenny's not with us, and so I just if you have a compassionate heart, he's just handling personal business this week. So just pray for him and his family that God will continue to give him strength to navigate through this situation. Is that all right? Sounds good, but listen, we got enough opinions here, and Kenny's not here to cut these folks off today, so I don't know how they're going to say what they're going to say today, because they grown, right? All right. Well, let's get into this thing. Madam, what are we talking about first this morning? Is she going to break already? Oh, yeah, listen. Kendrick, look, now I ain't no rap. I'm not a rap connoisseur. But I did watch this video. Did y'all get a chance to watch this video?
I'm not.
Wow. Well, okay. Well, I guess I gotta inform y'all. So y'all remember Michael Jackson? Not remember the time. What is it? It don't matter if you black or white. Mm-hmm. And he changed and the change to somebody else, right? So right. Kendrick Lamar did something like this, where he rapped and he morphed into like Will Smith, Kanye West, Kobe Bryant, Nipsey Hussle, and O.J. Simpson. Yeah, it was O.J. Very creative, and it was very interesting because I had to first watching it. I couldn't pay attention because I was trying to pay attention to what was going on with his face. So I was like, "Oh, okay," and I get it. So I had to listen to it again to hear him try to relate to the person that he was morphing into. And so where he morphed into Kanye and he said something about Kanye being bipolar. And then he morphed into OJ and talking about something about his perspective. And then he morphed into Will. And he made this statement, hurt people, but we call that culture. He really killed it. Again, some of the stuff I couldn't really understand. And then the most interesting thing about Kendrick's rap was him rapping in the face of Nipsey and then speaking to his killer and his family. It was very powerful, very interesting. The first thing I took from it was, number one, that we've come a long way from where music has restrained artists. Hey, Shantae, good to see you. Interesting. Kendrick Lamar, very interesting. It was, wasn't it? Yeah. And so for him, you, normally music execs and people like that would always take creative control over people, and so they weren't allowed to say certain things or do certain things. But I thought this was very ingenious. I know I gave you guys a really crash course about this, but just based on what I'm saying, how you guys feel about that? Hopefully I made you want to go watch it now.
Absolutely for me. Go ahead, Miss Devin. Go ahead, Miss Devin.
Now, I've
Beautiful
always
women
been
first.
thank you. I've always been a big Kendrick Lamar fan, and everything he normally does is always like pro-black and just big on the culture and things like that. So it doesn't surprise me. But one thing about him that kind of surprises me, though, is he does not care what any other culture thinks about what he does and says. He doesn't care about making anyone feel sensitive. He doesn't care about, you know what I'm saying, like making them uncomfortable with anything he does. So I kind of appreciate that. I think it's kind of eerie when you with some of it, it gets a little weird. But other than that, I really do appreciate everything, Kendrick Lamar does and how he always kind of contributes to the culture, and he always brings awareness to lots of things and always makes people talk.
Yeah, I think he really does. I know he's very intentional about what he's saying, and he comes from a very intellectual place, and I think he does a good job of doing that. Black, what you got on it, man?
Well, I obviously I haven't seen it, but you did a great job, laying out the vision. And now I actually am going to watch it. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Yeah.
And here's the beautiful thing about this is that I am generally turned off to the new artists, so I can't consider myself a fan. The way you describe it, I'm loving the fact that he's dipping back and appreciating when videos really were artistic.
Yes.
So, and paying homage to me, the greatest artist that ever lived, Michael Jackson, that he would use that technology and bring it forth. And to Sister Devin's point, I'm aware of how intentional he is. I love that word that you use, because whenever he does show up, he shows out. His videos, his performances, they always have meaning behind it. And so whether you agree with it or not, it sparks conversation. And I appreciate that for an artist in 2022, because I'm so bored with all of them, that he is that intentional and he is having something to say. And now it does make me want to go look at it and maybe become a fan. So I'm appreciative that somebody in 2022 from the music world is actually trying to put out music that verbally, is saying something and matching the visuals without all of the foolishness and effery. I'm being nice.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. So to the point, to the point of Michael, at least with Michael, they actually morphed into a whole different person. This dude's body and everything stayed the same, and this technology is called deep fake. And man, when I tell you, it's literally putting a little bit of fear in my heart, because what someone with really advanced technology can do is they could put you on camera somewhere and make it look just like you. And just like they used to do in the courtroom, where they would take evidence, where police officers would plant evidence in people's cars and do things, and then they would just set you up. Man, this is such a setup right here, because now we value video so much. If someone can alter that video, even to the point to where you literally saw OJ Simpson, but it was still Kendrick Lamar right there. I could tell when it switched, because he was trying to match his words with the face. But if you can't find the right words to fit, then it would throw itself off. So you just had to really be paying attention. And so you could tell sometimes that OJ may have never said a certain word that Kendrick was saying. So his lips were, it was moving in a certain way, trying to mimic the words. It's really deep, man. And so that really opened my eyes. I'm like, man, this could put this in the wrong hands. It could really do some damage to some people, man. But shout out to the brother for trying to just be honest about Black culture and just tell the truth about some things. And I agree, man. I think it's just time for us to just start being 100, man, because racism is not gone, and
Hmm.
it's actually evolving
Yes, sir.
into something else, and it's actually going to begin to. If you ever remember what carbon monoxide would do to you if it releases itself in your house, I believe
Lulls you to sleep.
that's right. This type of racism that we're getting ready to experience is gonna lull us to sleep because it's putting us down a path, man, that we really don't want to go. So thanks, Kendrick, but no thanks, Kendrick. Maybe I don't know. You may have opened Pandora's box. I'm not sure, but whatever. All right, man. What we got next? Ooh, speaking of, see here, man. Black, you say we be organic, man, and I don't even be thinking about that
I'm
until we
telling
get that
you.
way, man. But listen, that's not my name. So the famous name that is given to Black people that only white people can say that would really piss us off is right. And so now I never really thought cracker was a problem for white people. I never really thought that it bothered them. Like when you call them a cracker, I just kind of feel like you look ignorant to call a person a cracker. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I think we own the one now. We got us one. And so there's an article. What would you think is the most equivalent to them calling us an to what they don't like to be called now? Y'all want to take a guess what word that is?
Talking about old Karen and Ken.
See? Yes. So a woman by the name of Emily Swaven, she says yes, the K word is stronger than the N word, at least currently. Misogyny and patriarchy has been around longer than slavery. Just don't use either, okay? Stop saying Karen. Karen is a sexist and a racist term equivalent to the N word for white women. Calling a woman Karen is an attempt to get rid of women's rights to stand up for themselves. Here they go. Here they go. Madam, is the K word the new N word?
No, she can kiss my ass. They just certain people just want to be. They just want to be certain people just want to be oppressed so bad, and they
Yes,
try to think of any reason to pretend that they're oppressed or that they're hurt. And I like the term Karen. I think it has put a spotlight on foolery. And I hear white people even calling white people Karen for foolery, because Karens can be Karens against white people. White people will call the police on their own white neighbor because a dog pooped in their yard or something. It's foolishness. I love that you can shine a spotlight on it and make them feel stupid for being unnecessary. And I don't know no Black people named, but I know some people named Karen, so you definitely can't compare the two. So I don't understand. And Karen is a brand new, and that other word wasn't even created by us. Your mama named you that, and you just took that other word and took a little bit of the sting off of it, but it still just depends on who's saying it. I mean, there's not many words that compare to the N word. I think people say now that the F word in comparison.
Oh, to the LBGT, yeah.
A comparison, but that's kind of new as well.
Yeah, that's where you get in the weeds, y'all, when y'all want to compare. Just take it for what it is and say y'all got a problem with it. But then when y'all begin to try to hold up both, look, no, they're not the same. Say that for Kendrick Lamar. You're morphing. Stop trying to morph racism into Karenism and gayism and all this other kind of stuff. Just let our stuff sit, because it's got 400 years worth of credit on it. Y'all's don't. so Black, go ahead, brother. Give us what you got, man. What you got on these sisters?
So I want to be careful, and I'll say first and foremost that the views expressed by me belong to me and me alone. Okay. To protect the show and to protect the brand.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not about to curse or anything like that, but let's establish something right off the bat. That to me to shoot the argument out the water. The N word is the only word in the English language that has attached to it a level of atrocity and hatred and vitriol and every other vile act you can think attached to it. And it's worldwide, no matter where you go. So I'm actually sick of anybody who tries to take power away from what that word has done to African American people and our identity. So stop it. Stop that shit. So I'm offended by that you would even go there. But it's very telling that this lady would write this article, and of all of things that she could choose as the most vile thing for white people, cracker, honky, ofe, yes, I said them all, you chose Karen because I firmly believe with every fiber of my being that America is based on the highest, the greatest value in America is a white woman. That is the epitome of what we represent. That's why the Statue of Liberty stands so proud. And if you look at movies, entertainment, it's about the saving a white woman. Athletes are rappers and whatnot. You've made it when you have a white woman attached to your arm. We know in our own history of slavery that was the one thing you don't touch. Emmett Till lost his life for supposedly whistling at a white woman. You can mess with their money. You can mess with their property. Do not mess with their white women. And the fact that of all the things she could choose, it's very telling that a word that now finally has come along and is evolved as we become evolved, that depicts the lying, cheating, freaking disturbing nature of some of you bitches and what you do, that you find that insulting, you nasty old fake bitches, you. The word actually is very telling. Wear it like the scarlet letter. They ought to stamp it across your freaking heads.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Lee Vernon Black coming to you live, unfiltered. So yeah, we got a lot more to say about this, and we're going to continue to say it. I'll just say it's funny when you give a characteristic or a personality a name that you don't like. Go figure, right? Go figure. You okay, right? Y'all don't like it when it's being done to you now. So interesting, but nevertheless. All right, man, what we got next? No way, Subway. So listen, again, here we go. We're just gonna keep it rolling. Well, let's just show the video, and then we'll talk about it on the other side of it.
What? You're on video. You're on video. What? Call him. You're on video. You're on video. Call him. Come on. Call him. He's not an employee. This is don't do this. My finger. What? You are supposed to be an employee, right? Correct to make one thing now. Take your up, goofball. You guys. How y'all on video, stupid. If you incompetent, don't know how to make a difference, quit your job. What you talking about? You just sat here and literally disrespected my girlfriend. On top of that, expect an employee to disrespect us and us be fine with it? Are you stupid? Are you mentally challenged?
The only thing I said was I can't.
Here, mashed potatoes chicken. Mashed potatoes chicken.
I can't.
Mashed potatoes chicken.
I'll get fired.
Cut him cut.
I'm sorry.
Go.
I need you to get off the counter.
Give me something.
I can't give you anything to eat now.
Why?
Because I can't. You have to wear a mask.
You.
That's okay. You need to wear a mask.
You get too busy. You got work.
Oh.
I have a mask. Call him. We can't get our money back. Call him. Call him. Call him. Call him. Call him back. All this shit is contaminated. I'm contaminated. Now clean it up.
I want to know. This is sexual.
You give me my $20 back. Clean all that shit up.
Let me tell you something.
All that.
Let me tell you something.
You can record, I need my name, my number. I don't give a f.
I'm kind of confused on.
Yeah, right about me. This is goofy and this is unnecessary. Cause y'all mother sure don't know how to run a store.
I just walked there with respect.
Teenagers up in this mother.
Y'all, we ain't doing nothing but going downhill from here. Listen, the lady just wanted tomatoes on her Subway sandwich. No, I'm just teasing. I don't know what she wanted on her sandwich, but she really wanted the woman to remake her sandwich. And again, this is what I'm saying. People are getting, yeah, it was a sandwich, right? People are becoming more and more agitated. People are becoming more and more unfiltered. They're unhinged. We don't have patience anymore. People are the entitlement is actually spilling over the bucket, and now it's turning itself into entitlement, into I'm being infringed upon. Like if you don't get something right, we it, and again it's all of us. You saw the sisters, you saw the Karens, you saw them all. I mean, y'all, we're losing our humanity. I mean, Black, you know what? Can we come back from this?
We can. I truly believe that if we are willing to pay the price. I worked. I come from a retail background. I spent 25 years managing Toys R Us, AutoZone, and Macy's. So I come from a world where, you know, I worked in the service industry and I was a special kind of manager. I don't believe that the customer is always right. I never subscribed to that theory. The workers that worked under me, I was in management. I let them know that we don't operate that way. We're going to give you superior service, and we're going to demand and expect respect. And that's the way I ran my businesses. Having said that, what we've lost as a culture is freedom ain't free. But we've created generations where they're being told that they have rights and they can say what they want to and do what they want to. And I don't subscribe to that theory. I wish we would get back to a place where we take some of these rights away. Do you know my favorite time? There's two favorite times in my life, and I'll be short here. When 9/11 hit and we had to react quickly and they took some rights away. And as a result of it, when you go to fly now, you have to give up certain rights for the good of everybody being safe. When the pandemic hit, the world stopped and we lost some rights. It takes major tragedies for our world to realize culturally that we have to pull some things back. Because if we don't, we've already slid down a slippery slope where people think they can say and do anything. Now, I acknowledge customer service is at an all-time low.
Yes, sir.
And that's because it doesn't even really exist anymore. So we're not hiring people and training them properly, but that level of behavior and just putting the phone, let me be clear. They need their ass whooped. And if I was managing any of those establishments, that lady standing on the counter, I'd have pushed her ass off that counter in the hope she broke her back. Them three fat bitches that was messing up in Taco Bell, I would have slung that hot grease on them fat bitches' necks, and they would have been thriving on the floor. And that Karen in Subway, when I took that long spatula and smashed that bitch in her face, she would never want to come in a Subway again. Sometimes, people, a good old-fashioned ass whooping is what's needed.
And listen, y'all, that right leg ain't feeling too well. So just know he got a reason now. Just know we just on that nerve there down there, man. So, madam, I mean, listen, I mean, ain't neither one of them doing right, the employees or the customers. So where are we going with this?
I think it's the generation. I mean, and not that you wouldn't see it if it was like older people, because depending on where you are, some of them act the fool as well. But one common denominator I saw with all of this, where they were really like young people who, like, these young people, they don't know how to communicate, y'all. And I'm not even making it up. They don't know how to interact with people in the public. They don't know how to resolve conflict. They don't have those skills. They don't know what to do. So everything is just on like 10. And these business owners, let's be honest, they don't want to be in there running their business. They want to open the business and make a ton of money and hire whoever the cheapest person is that says they're willing to run it, and then they back off. So they don't even go out of their way to make sure they're hiring quality people. And some managers get frustrated. Someone like, if it was like myself, because no one wants to work today. Let's just be honest. So then you start hiring whoever will work there, and you're going to get crackhead Johnny, ghetto Gersha. I mean, you're just going to get, it's just going to be a hot mess, and you kind of, you get what you get. So I just think it's the generation. I think it's the new culture. I think we need a reset button. I think that whoever this girl is, because there was a time where you could say I have the right to refuse service to anyone. It used to be on the outside of people's stores. And I think when she did that, me being me, I would have said, I feel attacked. I feel threatened. I feel that my life is in danger. And then it would have been me, you, and the biggest pot in that kitchen having a talk.
Well, it don't sound like it's generational now.
I would ask you nicely. I know how to speak to you. Ma'am, will you please get your dumb ass off the counter, please? And if you don't listen.
Yes, I do agree with you guys 100%. They don't, like, they're not used to taking no for an answer, right? They don't, as nice as you can be, no, we can't do that. This is the new running thing with them. I don't understand. That's what they always say. I don't understand. I don't understand why. I don't get it. Well, sometimes I tell my kid, well, I don't care if you don't get it. Do you hear what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you don't understand. Do you comprehend the English language? So therefore, at that point, I'm not asking for your understanding. I'm not asking for you to for it to make sense to you. Just as long as you heard, make a left in 2 steps.
That's right.
Don't turn right, make a left. So then I don't make the left. That's just where we are today, man. So these kids these kids that we've overcompensated for, that we have done a whole lot for, they're grown now.
Yep.
And they got rights. And the game is the same now. So we understand the same rules that our Caucasian counterparts knew. You know, we know how to use those trigger words. Again, man. Anyway, get pieced up like that black girl. Yeah, she went to work on him. But again, for the record, I want just for everybody who got kids at a certain age, I just want y'all to know we restrain ourselves. Don't mean we can't go there. So y'all be careful when y'all pick them fights. Y'all everybody get off working on the same hard job. Just know, don't make me have to show you better than I can tell you now. Just be careful. I don't like going to work either. So don't catch me on my break. So, all right. Yeah. Anyway. All right, man. What we got next? Man. See, they used to spit in your food before they brought that to you. Be careful. Be careful. Mama said knock you out. And I ain't talking LL Cool J. I'm talking Chris Paul. This is for my brother Kendrick. We're gonna do a little sports minute here. So shout out to my brother if he's watching. Grand Rising, Doc. All right, so Chris Paul and the Mavericks are in a NBA playoff series, and I think it's tied up 2-2.
Tied up.
Yeah, but in Game 4, which the Mavericks won, apparently there was a problem. There's a video. I didn't feel like showing it because it wasn't showing nothing. But apparently Chris Paul got word that, again, one of these little young snot-nosed kids, right, went into one of the little common areas and they started harassing his mom and them.
Yep.
And to the point to even where they were giving them unwarranted hugs. Like, and on top of that, they were doing it multiple times and continue to harass them. Now, I'm just saying, Chris ain't got. Listen, had you done that to Michael Vick's parents? Some of them cats that be sitting in Mike's house that just come to the game, had seen that, I promise y'all would have hated coming to a Mavericks game, because that wouldn't have went well. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd have made a left in the alley and you wouldn't have made it out of there. But in good fashion, his mama was trying to pat him, give him encouragement, and he's sitting up there looking like, I don't know what I did. Again, y'all, this is what I'm talking about. It's evolving, and it's just because it's white and black, it's going to always be heightened. Now, if it was two white people, would it be bad? Yeah, but not the way it would when it's white and black. That's what I'm saying, y'all. Y'all really don't understand what this racism is evolving into. It's getting nasty. Like, people are going to lose their minds when they see black against white. It's just going to happen. And so the Mavericks, they investigated. They said they suspended them until 2024. What does that mean to them? We got to stop it before we turn this thing into civil war again. And this time, the Justice Department ain't holding black folks down like they was in the 60s and the 50s. Y'all better understand. We are mixing this melting pot, and we finna get what we want, and y'all gonna have to drink it. Just what'd you say, that harassment and assault? My mama got hands. I know it. And again, maybe Mama Paul was thinking, nah, I don't want y'all trying to get money, and my son ain't finna pay nothing. I got it. I know it, sister. I already know what you do, because you already done whoop somebody at the fast food restaurant. So I know, I don't imagine what you done to him at the game. But I mean, just speak on it. Where we at?
Well, I'm not saying I would do it. I'm not saying he would do it. But you always know somebody that'll do a little something for a few dollars.
I got him on speed dial.
You know what I'm saying? So I would have just been like, all right, because it's 2022, you can find anybody on social media. And he looked real stupid and short bus, right? So he probably would have been on social media bragging about it, posting a video over and over. You call up that cousin that know that cousin that know that cousin that'll do anything for 20, 30, 40, 50. If you do it for 50, what will you do for 300? You know what I'm saying? And then you said, I didn't tell him to do it. I was just saying, if you had it, what would you do? I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, you gotta start teaching people lessons.
Somebody love Chris Paul enough, and they're gonna come knocking at their door. They're gonna see him at school. Listen, I remember when we were growing up, it was a big old fight in the courtyard because somebody was mad about Selena and who was the girl, and Aaliyah. There was a fight in the high school because it was Selena versus Aaliyah. That was the fight. The black girls against the Hispanic girls. We'll find any reason, y'all. Y'all better believe it. I mean, black.
I couldn't agree with Sister Devin more. And whether it was racial or not, I don't know that. I was a 14-year-old boy. And to your point, Sister Devin, Chris Paul made a statement. He said, "It's okay, I'll see you."
Later. Yes,
he said, "I'll see you."
Yep.
And I took it the way you just explained it. That I got you, bro, because I got some people that can touch you. One of the things that's sacred to any black man is his mama.
Yes, sir.
As long as we've been raised from puppy dog tails and snails or whatever the little rhyme is, you know what's fighting words? When you talk about somebody's mama. Now, there's a time and a place for mama jokes, but it gets serious when you mean something against a black man's mama. And I'm speaking for men. I would imagine for women too. You don't say something about a black mama. All that black mothers go through, that's a no-no. But again, I just talked about the privilege that this generation had. You talked about it, Sister Devin, where in an NBA game, they're allowed to, unlike any other major sport, they're allowed to sit and touch and distance where they can reach out and touch. They're on the floor, and we're seeing an increased level of fans acting out it's happened at the Minnesota playoffs games in the first round, where you had the lady chained herself to the court and another one tried to attack. We're seeing an increased level of people who, once again, feel like they have the right to jump in there and do something. And so, like you said, Sister Devin, I promise you, God in his infinite justice, wisdom, love, and power made sure that I'm a poor black fat bastard. Because if I had the money, I would settle all scores. Make no mistake about it. It's a good thing that I'm not rich.
That's why my credit get right, because God know I ain't gonna act right. That's why my credit
as long as Amazon out there, honey, you ain't getting right. Now listen, Charles Barkley had made a good statement, and Chris Paul did too. Y'all find the players for doing things, but y'all let the mob just get away with everything, and that's got to change, man.
It's got to change.
Again, I'm telling y'all, we are making decisions that's going to cause this dark cloud of racism, where it's not being, it's no longer being policed by the justice system, where they suppressed it and they okayed it. But you listen, y'all, that's a dark cloud above this country, and I don't care what y'all say. When the hot and the cold meet together, it creates a tornado. And I'm just telling y'all, we on tornado watch. Warning is coming.
Last quick thing I'll say before you move to the next topic. Just like the person who attacked Dave Chappelle, what the NBA needs to do, since it's a private entity, they need to hire their own individual security force to handle matters the way that Dave Chappelle's situation was handled. When you whoop somebody's ass and break their arm, they'll stop messing with these players.
Origami that arm. That's what he did. He struck your Soleil that arm. That's what he did.
Yikes! I don't even know what y'all talking about. Somebody he broke that dude arm.
Oh, you did not see?
It was turned inside.
A guy ran up on Dave Chappelle.
I saw that
like
part,
he
but
did Will Smith.
Yeah.
His arm ain't supposed to do what they did to him.
Google his arm.
Okay, I'll wait till the show is over.
Double jointed.
Really? He gonna be walking around like this? Okay.
And he went to jail with the broke arm.
They did him.
Consequences.
Wow. Hey, well, everybody tell y'all, everybody ain't like Chris. Y'all better get it right. All right, ma'am. You up at the top, so I guess you got something to say. Man, who business you in this week?
Man, I tried to stay out of it because I try to avoid stupid at all costs, especially, what I'm saying? So I try to mind my business and I try not to pay attention to stupid, but stupid ran across my phone. So I had to read it. Antonio Brown is Antonio Browning. I remember a few years ago, Antonio Brown made a comment about the NFL being very racist and, and just racially charged. And he had all of these complaints. But today, Antonio Brown says there is no such thing as racism. And basically, life is what you make it. And he has $100 million or whatever that he made to back that up and prove that there is no racism. Do y'all think the boy is short bus, or do you think he's just being a little privileged, or he just cuckoo cut you?
Well, I'll say this: he lost his means for making money. Number one, so it sounds like it's money driven, and and some people will say and do anything for $1. So I don't know if somebody cash apps him just so he can say it or something. But yeah, and the problem is with him, ain't nobody taking him seriously no way, because all the antics he done. I mean, that's like telling me Johnny Knoxville say, "Hey, get in this car, it's free." Now everybody know who Johnny Knoxville is. You know, you get in the car that Johnny Knoxville, boy, that car will probably explode, blow up, or bust you up. Something go. So you got to know the person you're talking to. I know my people, and listen, I'm not taking no advice from Antonio Brown. You left money on the table just because you mad at your coach. Nah, that ain't gonna fly.
I mean, I felt like he was trying to mimic Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne said this a while back, that there's no such thing as racism.
He looked like he cheated on a few tests at school. Yep, I agree.
Lil Wayne, he snorted way too many of something, bad salts or something. But anyway, Black, do you think he was telling the truth and being credible, that this is his experience, or he was just talking?
No, I really do think he was speaking from his perspective, which is very sad, So to Shantae's point, I don't know if it's crack or meth or he's on something, but
Right.
I really do believe he's a rare individual. Number one, he's an absolute idiot, you
Yes,
know,
sir.
but he's supremely talented. He's the walking poster child for what we see with athletes that because of their superior talent, that they get pushed along in society. And from his perspective, because he's been so talented, and what you can't take away from him is what he's able to do on that gridiron. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer if when you look at his numbers, and that's the only and main reason Tom Brady and different people have put up with him this long. He's clearly not the brightest bulb, in the pack, but his talent has pushed him to a point. And you brought up Lil Wayne, to where Lil Wayne started rapping when he was 14 years old. So when you achieve fame early on, like these two individuals, I guess from his perspective, racism, it seems like a foreign concept because he is accepted by white. That's all he knows. He looks black, lives white. So he's always his whole life been passed along. He hasn't experienced any true levels of racism because of his talent. And I don't think he's saying it just to say it. I think from where he sits, he really and truly believes that. But that's sad because I'll say this last part. We all know that historically, especially for football players, their wealth is gone within 5 years.
Hmm.
So,
Most of them young ones,
look it
yeah.
up, do the math. Most of them don't invest well, and you can look at him and tell he started making these smart investments. So let's revisit this 3 to 5 years from now when the millions are gone and the IRS is coming for him and the house is being sold and he has to sell the trophies and things like that. And all of a sudden you find out, oh my God, I really am just a black man. And now talk to me about whether racism is real. That's going to be some sad shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree, and I think he's special. Poor baby. You know what I'm saying? Bless his heart, like my mother would say. But I just don't like it when he says stuff like this and then it trends, because I think it allows other people to say, see, you know, everybody's not racist. Everybody's not experiencing racism. Some of y'all are just making it up and blah, blah, blah. That's why I don't like stuff like that. But it does help that he's dumb as hell and no one will listen to him anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I for sure for him will go back to minding my business and, meet a short bus in the parking lot where it belongs.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Great segment. This is why I appreciated Kendrick Lamar's song he came out with, because it's highlighting the things that some of our Caucasian brothers and sisters don't want us to speak on, because they want to live in the bubble of all black people are ignorant and all black people are not intelligent, and they can just take your words and so, like he said, just because Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, that's not our culture. That's a hurt person hurting somebody. Again, Antonio Brown, he don't speak for black people. That's just a man y'all gave money to that don't know what to do with it. It is what it is. So again, it is what it is. So thank you, man. Right. We just got to keep speaking on it, man, because they're going to keep trying to tell a different narrative. And we just, no, y'all. No. All right. What we got next? Yeah. All right. Let's talk about something serious. Again, it's not culture, but it's just that looming dark cloud it's becoming a problem. It's another ingredient to this melting pot. There's a young lady. Her name was Alana Miller, Arlana Miller, and her Instagram name was Lana Wana, and yeah, hello. And she was a cheerleader in college. I'm not sure what this is. I know it's not Southern University, but it's SU. So I don't know where she went, but apparently she was a cheerleader. And she wrote a statement before she left by inflicting herself physically, and that she could not return. And so I wanted to read a little bit of this, and then y'all, I just want to talk about it because it needs to be talked about. She says, "May this day bring me rest and peace. I have fought this urge since my early teenage years. I gave this life all the fight I had. To everyone who has entered my life, I'm so grateful, and I can only imagine how this may find you. I have been surrounded by people who may have honestly thought that I was okay, but I haven't been okay for a while. I struggled so much through just this year alone, from COVID to tearing my ACL to nearly failing all of my classes. To the people in my life, I pray you learn to vocalize your feelings and get help always. I failed at that, and I'm afraid it's too late. Mom, thank you so much." Oh, it was Southern University. Okay. I don't want to keep reading it because it's just a lot. Um, but y'all can find it. Arlana Miller. I just want to say this to anybody that needs help articulating something to their children. Thank you, Shantae. Number one, majority of everybody on this planet has at one point in time thought about taking their own, whether it's because they are upset about something, they're frustrated with someone that they care about, or they just feel overwhelmed. They've had the feeling. It's it's not abnormal, but what the problem is that we have not learned how to cope with things going wrong. We just haven't learned. And now things have gone wrong on such an enormous level now that what you haven't been taught now is like overwhelming you like a tidal wave coming out of the ocean and just saturating you, and you have nobody has taught you anything. And then on top of that, everybody want to be left alone. Don't nobody want to be spoken to anymore. It's a melting pot. It's a melting pot. Sister?
Well, I had a conversation recently with a couple of my children because younger people today, yes, like you said, it's coping, but they have a very difficult time seeing past tomorrow. And that's what I try to get my children to understand when they're making decisions that I think are poor decisions, but they can't see exactly what I'm talking about because all they care about is today and maybe tomorrow. They can't see the bigger picture down the line. You know what I'm saying? Like and I don't know, I've yet to figure out what I can say, what I can do, what I can provide to help them understand past tomorrow. Because even like say with a couple of them, it's like they're wanting to tell me they're going to do something tomorrow, and I'm like, have you thought about how this may affect you in 2 years, 3 years down the line, and then you're going to be in a rut and you're going to start. It's almost like they can't comprehend it. They don't know how to move past that, and I don't know why that is with younger generations. But I know they've been raised totally different than us. And I wish a lot of the things that we experienced, they experienced a lot of those things as well, because there's a lot of things we believe we coped with that was so much worse and we got through it. So some of us are like, what are you complaining about? Da, 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 da. But they just don't have those abilities to cope that we were enabled, unfortunately.
Yeah, Black, I'm gonna let you have it. I want to say this. I want everybody to realize, just as Newports, all those different cigarettes that were introduced to a generation 40 years ago, the internet, the TV has normalized this type of behavior. And it's just like these teenage mamas where they make it out the scene, man, they normalize this behavior. And unfortunately, all kids, no matter what nationality, if they have access to the internet, they have found something in common all the time. And that's why it's no longer just a demographic of ethnicities. No, they're all seeing it, and they're all coming together, and again, misery loves company. and it's the same for today. So go ahead, Black.
You both stole a lot of my thunder
Oh, I'm
because I
sorry.
read this letter. No, it's beautiful because it shows the like-mindedness of it. You both nailed it, and this is I had read the letter, and I had talked to Tasha, and we're going to talk about this on Wednesday's episode. The letter is so tragic in so many ways, and Sister Devin, you nailed it. This is the YOLO generation. You only
Mhm.
live once. And brother Brenton, you talked about the commonality, that this generation have. The advent of social media and technology has elevated this generation in a way that we couldn't dream of it. These young people are walking around with computers in their hands. At our time, we had to go look something up in a big, thick encyclopedia. You know, they have access to information instantly,
That's right.
and they can connect with each other instantly. And what it's done, we talked about earlier in the show about the ability to cope. I always tell people, anybody that come to me, I can match their hard luck story, believe it or not. As I sit here and you look behind me, I look like I live at a pretty decent place. But the person sitting in front of you, what you would not know is I grew up in the real ghetto. I lived with rats bigger than cats in my pillowcase. I lived in a tenement building with no heat and hot water for 3.5 years. I have arthritis in my hands and knees because of it. I lost two brothers to HIV and AIDS. I've lost two houses in foreclosure. I could go on, to be honest with you, and I'm
Yeah.
dealing with current issues right now. But the reality is, as you talked about, Sister Devin, these young people, they can't see past today. They haven't been able to cope. And what I want to talk about on the show is this is what you get when you take God out of schools, parenting out of homes, and discipline away. And you have a generation that's run amok and they're ill prepared to deal with the future. And I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. There's a logic and a principle that also has been removed. Like you have to be a certain age to do certain things. Why? Because your development was not capable of handling they the reason why we had to go find this information at a younger age is because we needed to develop this thing. But because they can do it at their fingertips, their minds have not developed how to process information. Although Google can get it to you quickly, you still can't process it. That's why you can't have sex at a certain age. That's why you don't need to have kids at a certain age. That's why you don't need to be drinking at a certain age, because you haven't learned to process. But it's okay, because anyway, I don't get started going down somewhere else. But there's a reason, y'all, that I don't let my 7-year-old do certain things, because he can't process. And so where we see these kids having all this intellect because they can Google and TikTok and all this other kind of stuff, it ain't resonating, because they're being codependent on an internet that can be manipulated. Okay, all right, let's move on.
I hope you come on Wednesday. That's what we'll be talking about on Real Talk for Real Men.
Got you, man. Got you, brother. Yes, sir.
Sister Devin,
All right,
too.
ladies
You
and
guys were
gentlemen.
brilliant. I loved having you.
Thank you, man. I enjoyed that episode too. We got to talk about that again. But, sir, honor among degrees.
Now, normally when you hear this expression, you think about honor among thieves.
Yep.
Because even amongst thieves, there's a code. There's a code amongst thieves. So why did I bring this up? Angela Bassett, who to me is one of the finest examples of an actor. She's a living legend. I love everything about Angela Bassett.
Yep.
She brings her roles to life. I couldn't say enough about her. There's Denzel and there's Angela Bassett. She is the epitome to me. Angela Bassett was recently given an honorary degree from Old Dominion University. Now, this makes the third honorary degree for Angela Bassett. Whether you know this or not, she has an honorary doctorate from Morehouse, which is, in case you don't know, historically black college right here in Atlanta. They honored her for her leadership in Hollywood. She also has an honorary doctorate from her alma mater, Yale University. Ludacris himself also recently, right here in Atlanta, was given an honorary doctorate. Now, on its face value, nothing wrong with that. But I'm here to tell you that it offends me. As I'm an opinionated SOB, so a lot of crazy shit come out of my mouth. And I know that you don't agree with a lot of things I said, and that's okay. But behind all of this, I'm an educated brother, believe it or not. I worked hard to get my master's degree. So hard that, in fact, I'm over $100,000 in student loan debt. I'm talking to you, Biden, show ugly ass. Now, having said that, I put in that kind of time because I was faced with a situation at 40 years of age where I had all this experience, 20 years in management, and I hit the proverbial glass ceiling. And I didn't have an invitation to the dance. They told me you can't go any further until you get these pieces of paper that opens those doors up. I put my head down. I sacrificed. I slept on a few couches. I got evicted from a couple of apartments, but quitting wasn't an option. I had to have this education to crack open those doors to make a better life for myself and my son. I wanted to make sure that I wouldn't find myself where I am now in my 50s and some little puppy wet behind the ears, snot-nosed asshole telling me what to do. And even though I got more experience than him, he has a degree. And so I worked hard for my education. Not all degrees are equal. I know people right now who went to class with me and still can't put together a PowerPoint presentation. They're walking, talking idiots. But some of us, we worked really hard to get those degrees to make a difference, to change our lives. And the fact that they're giving them away like candy, like bubble gum, because you are an actor or a comedian or a rapper, it offends my very soul. So this is not against you, Angela Bassett. It's not against you, Ludacris, but there should be some honor in education, and it's not. And you wonder why now young people, our own people, don't put any emphasis on education, why they celebrate somebody coming out of jail more than somebody getting a degree. Take a look in the mirror. There should be honor among degrees.
We're not mad at you either, Megan Thee Stallion.
I didn't even bring that nasty bitch up, but okay.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, sir. I'm just saying, man. And listen, and they didn't give a well, maybe. Okay, I'm not even gonna touch it. I'm good. Thank you, sir. All right. Okay. All right. She earned it. Earned it. Earned it. Yep. I earn my clothes too every day. Earned it. Man, listen, y'all. It has been a fantastic show. And I appreciate you two being on here with me because, listen, we educated somebody today. And I mean, and hopefully they can educate their children. And if they can't, in the words of Lee Black, put them out. Nasty, filthy, no goods. Put them out. Yeah. No, I'm just teasing. All right, listen, y'all. It's final thoughts time. And again, shout out to my brother Kenny. Man, wherever you are, brother, I hope and pray that all is well with you. I know we're going to be checking on you again later on this week. But yeah, man, we held it down without you, brother. So whenever you get ready to come back, man, no rush. We here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, madam, again, thank you for your segment. What's your final thoughts today?
I want to address the issues with like our young folk and their, because here lately on Facebook, I've been seeing a lot of people that have been unaliving themselves, and they've always been like really like young people. That's the way YouTube won't get us. Unalive yourself.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. I was like, what? Yeah, okay.
And so,
I'm not hip, so I don't know.
And it's been an easy button for them. And one little bit of advice that I gave my kid once, because she thought her whole world was over because somebody said something mean about her on TikTok. Sometimes, and I'm not even joking. I believe sometimes you just have to shut down life. Like, I think when you go through these phases, you need to cut off all social media. You need to be around some grown folks who actually know how to hold a conversation with you, and you know how to listen and receive. And I just, somehow you're going to have to start listening to people who have more experience with life and can try to talk to you about seeing the big picture of things. Yes, today may be the worst day of your life, but in 2024, you'll be able to tell somebody a story about it. Like, it's right. You just somehow, we're going to have to, as us adults and grown folks with good sense are going to have to think of a way to start teaching these young people how to really cope with life and how not to make certain things such an easy button for what we the three of us would see as a small problem and they see as the end of the world.
Yep. Listen, I understand what you're saying immensely. One of my kids literally started bawling, crying because we told her she may have to ride a school bus to high school. I mean, you thought we killed her dog. You crying over the ride the school bus, bruh? I almost put on there anyway. Yeah. Anyway, all right, Black. Let us know, sir.
Yes, sir. My final thoughts. First of all, Brother Kenny, our hearts and prayers go to you and your family. Just know we're with you, my brother. Stand tall. We're here to listen to whatever you need. I'm gonna piggyback off of what Sister Devin says. We have to get this younger generation coming behind us. Way to as you said, Sister Devin, to see the big picture. And one of the ways we have to do that, we got to find a way to turn off some of the noise. We didn't even talk about in this show the death of Kevin Samuels. And whatever you thought about this man, to read the Twitter vitriol about his death and how some taking it, and it's good and it's glad it happened. And we look at this episode was so organic. This TFG Tonight episode was so organic, and we talked about so many different things. And you know what it highlighted for me, and it really showcased just how lost, many of us are. So when I think about School Days, Spike Lee's famous movie, the ending of the movie, Lawrence Fishburne's character, he screamed, "Wake up, wake up." And so some kind of way we've been lulled to sleep with a false sense of security, with all of the advantages that we have. And yes, we have problems from those on the outside, but we got a lot of things internally that we need to shake ourselves from this sleep and get our younger generation to wake up, see a bigger picture, because you guys are the ones that's going to be taking us into the next era, the next year, the next generation. And I know that's a lot to put on your shoulders, but you have resources. You have people like us, and we've got to teach you to cope better, and we got to figure out a way to communicate with even you better. So it's a work in progress.
Yes, sir. I didn't talk about Kevin Samuel because I didn't really know him, but more power to you, brother. So yeah, but I agree with you wholeheartedly. All right, y'all. Madam, you don't put them to the side. Y'all know how I do. I may miss it because I tried to. We done talk so heavy. It's like, who wants to laugh, right? But I'm sorry. So my question to you guys: do you guys still get mail?
I do.
So have you guys noticed how the Grandmaster or whatever his name, how they tried to slow the mail down? So you getting it? You still get mixed up mail and all that kind of. I mean,
yep.
Sometimes,
yep.
We talked about on the show just how things are having a hard time with the fast food restaurants and the customer service. Well, y'all, I found out why we've been getting our mail the way we have, and they leaked video. And y'all talking about hiring people the right way. Well, this is what we got to deal with now. Just take a look.
What the?
Yep.
Did he fall out the truck?
Yeah, was he trying to rob the mail people, man?
He was actually driving the car. I don't know how the food fell out the car. He tried to go chase the car, and the car ended up in somebody's plant area, bushes. I mean, y'all, if the mail can't get it right, then we is definitely in trouble, y'all. I just want y'all to know. So stop getting mail, stop going out to eat, stop buying groceries, because listen, just imagine whose kids gonna be looking like when we in our 60s and 70s.
I bet why my mama got her birthday card a week and a half late.
Man.
Right. And while my mail keep going to the person on the other street with the same number but the different, it's like you fools can't read. And I see now y'all can't drive, y'all can't read, y'all can't do nothing right. But I appreciate that woman because I know that government just paid for her new flower bed. So very nice. But listen, y'all, it's been a fantastic show. That is Black, and that is Madam Devin, and we're gonna see you guys on Monday. We're out.
Peace.